gmna uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening. Tonight we'll hear from REM operator Pulsar about today's 3 p.m. commuter brief after this morning's light rail hiccups, plus a quick look at minor traffic delays in the summer handmade market spotlight, and a final tribute for jazz legend Oliver Jones later today. Over to you, Emma.
The MUTEK Festival returns this weekend at Place des Arts, presenting 3 days of electronic music, audio-visual installations, and workshops featuring artists from Europe, Asia, and North America.
Saturday morning includes a free community day, offering open-air performances on the plaza, interactive sound sculptures, and a family-friendly workshop series introducing digital music creation.
General admission tickets cost $40, student tickets $25 with online passes available. An early bird discount expires tomorrow, encouraging advance purchases for the full festival.
With MUTEK set to illuminate downtown, tickets ready and stages prepared, lots to get to, let's begin this evening. Here are our top stories. REM operator Pulsar will hold a news conference this afternoon at 3 p.m. to address Wednesday morning service interruptions on Montreal's light rail network. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
At 3 p.m. today, REM operator Pulsar will convene a news conference to brief commuters on the series of interruptions that slowed the light rail network Wednesday morning. Operators reported multiple stoppages across the line, causing delays for riders heading to work and school. Service was gradually restored by late morning, and trains resumed a regular schedule by early afternoon. Pulsar's spokesperson said the meeting will outline what caused the early day outages, the steps taken to get trains moving again, and measures being put in place to prevent a repeat. Commuters are invited to tune in for the briefing as the agency works to keep the system running smoothly. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
A Montreal couple will file a lawsuit against an Ontario surrogacy agency, seeking nearly $200,000 in damages after a stillbirth. Both partners, residents of the Plateau Montreal neighborhood, say the dispute has taken an emotional toll. The couple alleges the agency charged or reimbursed expenses that were not justified, claiming financial misconduct in the cross-province arrangement. Legal experts note that surrogacy contracts spanning Quebec and Ontario can become contentious when parties dispute reimbursement practices. The complaint filed today cites one stillbirth and asserts that the agency's billing practices left the parents with unexpected costs. If the case proceeds, it could set a precedent for how Canadian provinces handle surrogacy disputes and the accountability of agencies operating across jurisdictional lines. The lawsuit underscores the complexities inherent in inter-provincial surrogacy agreements and may prompt closer scrutiny of financial terms in future contracts.
Online vendors are offering assistance animal harnesses without the verification required by Quebec law, allowing owners to attach the gear to ordinary pets. The practice came under scrutiny after a pony was escorted into the Montreal courthouse earlier today, prompting officials to question how the animal could claim protected status. Under provincial regulations, any harness intended for service animal must be validated by a certified professional before it can be used as legal proof of accommodation. Critics say the unchecked sales undermine the integrity of the system that safeguards people with genuine disabilities. Consumer protection groups are urging the provincial government to tighten enforcement and to monitor e-commerce platforms for non-compliant listings. The courthouse incident has sparked a broader debate about the need for stricter oversight of online merchandise tied to disability rights.
Montreal will host a final tribute to late jazz pianist Oliver Jones on Wednesday, August 19th, honoring his legacy after his passing on July 22nd at 91. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Family, friends, and a crowd of musicians gathered today at a downtown hall for the final tribute to Oliver Jones, the Montreal-born pianist who passed away on July 22, 2026, at 91. The program featured a series of solo and ensemble performances, each echoing the blend of bebop and gospel that defined his sound. Speakers recalled how Jones grew up on the streets of Little Burgundy, where he first discovered the piano, and how his talent carried him onto world stages and into dozens of awards. A bronze plaque will be installed in the hall later this week, marking the city's gratitude. The evening closed with a rendition of Round Midnight, his favorite standard, as candles flickered in silent tribute. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Little Burgundy.
Tomorrow, the Quebec City Film Festival opens its 15th edition, running from September 9th through 13th. Organizers have placed a spotlight on emerging talent, curating a special program that showcases up-and-coming directors from across the province. The highlight of the lineup will be a screening of Denis Villeneuve's much-anticipated new feature, giving festival-goers a first look at the acclaimed filmmaker's latest work. The youth-focused slate marks the anniversary celebration, underscoring the event's commitment to nurturing the next generation of storytellers. With 15 days of premieres, panels, and workshops, the festival promises a vibrant mix of fresh voices and established artistry, reinforcing Quebec City's reputation as a cultural hub. Film lovers can expect a packed schedule that blends discovery with the excitement of Villeneuve's arrival on the big screen. Audiences will also enjoy local culinary delights between screenings, adding a flavorful backdrop to the cinematic celebration. Up next, a woman found dead in a Montreal apartment amid rising intimate partner violence cases. More after the break. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Police confirmed that a 44-year-old woman was found dead on Monday night in an apartment on the island. The investigation classified the death as intimate partner violence, adding to a second homicide discovered 2 days earlier in a neighboring unit. Both victims were women, and both cases are being treated as linked incidents of domestic abuse. City officials said the tragedies underscore persistent concerns about violence against women in the community. The Montreal Police Service has launched a dedicated inquiry, reviewing security footage and interviewing neighbors to determine any connection between the two apartments. No arrests have been reported so far. Advocates for women's safety called for increased resources and support for at-risk individuals. Community leaders expressed sorrow over the loss of the two women. The cases remain under active investigation.
Political experts warn the upcoming fall election in Quebec is unlikely to jeopardize the newly negotiated Churchill Falls hydroelectric agreement, citing Ottawa's steady influence. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Experts say the upcoming provincial vote in Quebec this fall won't upend the new deal being hammered out for the Churchill Falls hydro project. A political analyst based in Ottawa told officials that federal influence will keep the agreement on track, even as parties campaign across the province. The draft arrangement, still under negotiation, aims to lock in power deliveries and revenue sharing for both sides. With the election scheduled for later this year, stakeholders are watching the political climate but expect Ottawa's hand to smooth any bumps. As the timeline tightens, the focus remains on finalizing the terms before voters head to the polls. The consensus among the experts is that the deal will survive any election year turbulence. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Montreal.
The province's first teenage bariatric surgery program opened today at a Quebec hospital, marking a new step in treating severe adolescent obesity. The specialized center will perform between 15 and 30 weight loss operations each year, focusing on teens whose health is compromised by excess weight. Hospital officials said the initiative follows growing concerns about childhood obesity rates and aims to provide a clinically supervised alternative when diet and lifestyle changes have not succeeded. Surgeons will work alongside nutritionists, psychologists, and pediatricians to ensure comprehensive care before and after the procedures. While the program is limited in scope, it offers a new option for families seeking medical intervention for their children's health challenges. The launch positions Quebec as a leader in adolescent health innovation, and officials hope the model could inspire similar services across Canada.
Local berry growers are warning that an influx of imported strawberries and raspberries is crowding out Quebec harvests from grocery aisles. Josien Cormier, president of the Association des Producteurs de Fraises et de Framboises du Québec, told reporters in Montreal that shipments from Mexico and the United States have surged this summer, creating what she described as unfair competition. She said the growing presence of foreign small fruit has already reduced the shelf space for homegrown berries in supermarkets across the province. Producers claim that higher volumes of imported produce are driving down prices and limiting consumer access to Quebec-grown strawberries and raspberries. The association is calling for measures to protect local growers, but officials have not yet responded. The situation continues to unfold as the season progresses. Retail chains report that imported berries now occupy up to half of the small fruit displays.
Montreal's Martinez-Ferrada administration proposes redesigning the stalled Eastern REM segment to connect with the Metro Green Line, hoping to address the social opposition that stopped the project in May 2022. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
The City Council gathered Tuesday afternoon to unveil a plan that would breathe new life into the stalled eastern segment of the REM. Officials said the revised design would tie the line directly into the Metro's Green Line, creating a seamless north-south link. The original eastern extension was scrapped in May 2022 after residents voiced strong opposition, citing concerns over neighborhood disruption. By reshaping the route to run along quieter streets and adding additional stations, the administration hopes to address those social acceptability issues. A feasibility study is set to begin next month, with the mayor's office promising regular updates as the project moves forward. City planners will also consult local community groups to fine-tune the alignment before any construction begins. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
Let's get a look at your evening forecast with our meteorologist, Alex.
A strengthening mid-level jet from the southwest is sealing off moisture, leaving Montreal under a dry, overcast veil. The all-time high for this date stands at 31.2 Celsius, set in 2015 during an early August heat wave that pushed the city well above the usual 24 Celsius norm. The record low is 10.6 Celsius, recorded in 2014 when a lingering trough ushered an unseasonal cold snap, a stark contrast to the typical low of around 16 Celsius for today's calendar date. The live radar is completely quiet across the province, confirming no rain echoes in the atmosphere. A high-pressure ridge is nudging upward, and the fast southwest jet at 136 kilometers per hour is capping any ascent of moist air. With the ridge in place, the air mass remains dry and stable, so we expect the overcast to linger without precipitation as we move into the evening. At 6 p.m., the sky is overcast with a temperature of 21 Celsius and humidity at 85%. A gentle west wind at 7 kilometers per hour, gusting to 24, brushes the city, while the maximum wind later will be 14 kilometers per hour from the southwest. Pressure is rising, reinforcing the dry, stable air that the jet stream enforces from the southwest. No rain is forecast, and the UV index sits at 1. There are no active weather alerts. As the night settles, we turn to the 5-day outlook. Thursday brings a high of 23 Celsius and a low of 15, with persistent overcast clouds and a modest wind. Friday clears dramatically, reaching 24 Celsius at the peak and dropping to 14, offering a crisp, clear evening. Saturday climbs to a warm 27 Celsius high, but an overcast sky and 35% rain chance introduce a chance of showers. Sunday stays warm at 26 Celsius, low 18, with drizzle and a 45% chance of rain, hinting at lingering moisture. Monday eases to a high of 22 and a low of 17, mostly clear with a 25% chance of rain, wrapping up a week of modest temperature swings and intermittent rain windows. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
Up next, traffic shows minor delays. The Lion King roars tonight, and the Habs celebrate a new ring. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Today's biggest holdup is the complete closure of Avenue des Arables. The blockage runs the full length of the street, forcing drivers onto parallel routes such as Rue Saint-Denis and Boulevard Saint-Laurent. Expect a steady stream of slow traffic there for the next few hours. Downtown commuters might try Rue Sherbrooke or Boulevard René Lévesque to bypass the Avenue des Arables blockage. Next, southbound traffic on Avenue de Lorimier is closed between Rue Beaubien-Est and Boulevard Rosemont. That forces commuters onto Avenue Papineau and Rue Saint-Laurent. You'll likely see a queue building during the lunch rush. Drivers heading toward the South Shore should allow extra time for the de Lorimier detour. A construction crew has also shut down Chemin du Golf in Verdun between the two William Paul streets. That closure redirects traffic onto Rue de la Commune and Boulevard La Salle, adding a few minutes to trips across the island. Minor obstructions remain on Rue Jean Mance, Rue Saint-Zotique-Aoust, Avenue Joseph Tisson and Avenue de l'Esplanade, but flow is still moving. Autoroute 6 and Autoroute 15 remain clear, offering a smooth alternative for those traveling east or west. No transit delays are reported, and the rest of the road network stays clear. Expect the afternoon to stay relatively smooth aside from those hotspots.
Montreal's cultural pulse is strong this summer. Disney's The Lion King roars onto the stage tonight at Salle Wilfrid Pelletier in Place des Arts, offering families a chance to relive the classic tale with stunning puppetry and live music. The production blends Disney magic with live orchestration, a treat for all ages. Crosstown, the MUTK Festival pulses through Quartier des Spectacles, where cutting-edge electronic beats and immersive digital art transform the streets into a playground for curious minds and offers hands-on workshops. If you prefer sun and sand, the Montreal Beach Pro Tour is in full swing at Parc Jean-Drapeau, showcasing beach volleyball that makes a perfect summer evening outing. The tournament draws top athletes, turning the shoreline into a vibrant arena of spikes and cheers. Looking ahead, Saturday brings a showdown at Saputo Stadium as LA Galaxy travel to face CF Montreal, a match that could shape the league's playoff picture. That's what's on today, Mark Beaumont. And now here's Jason with sports.
Habs prospects, honors and roster moves shape Montreal's roadmap to the next season. Vinzenz Rohrer lands at Laval after a championship run with the Zurich Lions, but his point production halved from the previous campaign. The under-25 ranking at 18 signals Montreal's interest, and his European experience could boost the Habs' depth-forward pool heading into training camp. The Bell Center will enshrine Carey Price in its Ring of Honor during the November 10 matchup with the Minnesota Wild, just one day after his Hall of Fame induction. The ceremony adds a marquee event to the Habs' 2026 to 2027 special games slate and underscores the franchise's reverence for its legends. Owen Protz, the 2024 fourth-round pick, turns pro at 20 and brings a bruising, old-school style to Montreal's blue line. Though his point totals slipped, his physical presence and willingness to deliver thunderous hits could force a battle for a regular defensive role in the upcoming season. Arbor Exekaj and Zachary Bolduc remain unsigned restricted free agents, leaving their roster spots in limbo as the Habs negotiate extensions. Meanwhile, rookie Alexei Vlasov earned an invitation to the Canadiens' camp, a chance to earn a contract and challenge the depth chart on the wing. Jard Davidson's season split between a promising NHL debut, 9 goals and 2 assists in 13 Rocket games, and a post-call-up slump, tallying just 14 points over his final 40 games after a prior 24-goal campaign. The inconsistency raises questions about his role heading into the next campaign. Jakob Dobish earned a preseason ranking as the league's 10th best netminder, according to NHL Network. The recognition spotlights Montreal's goaltending depth and could influence the Habs' decisions on starter versus backup roles as the club finalizes its roster for the upcoming campaign. Stay tuned, Habs fans, the road ahead promises excitement.
Thanks, Jason. Montreal's summer handmade and small business vendor market in Mount Royal's Royal Park transforms the green space into a bustling showcase of local creators. From August 28 through 30, 2026, the 3-day outdoor market welcomed families, tourists, and neighborhood shoppers to explore handmade jewelry, ceramics, vintage prints, and gourmet food trucks. Dozens of small Montreal entrepreneurs found a platform to connect directly with the community, sparking new sales and collaborations that ripple beyond the weekend. The buzz of live music and the scent of fresh pastries turn the park into a seasonal gathering spot, reminding us that the city's heart beats strongest when we support the makers next door. It's a reminder that every handcrafted item carries a piece of Montreal's spirit. Next, a Quebec program aims to equip 12,000 students with school supplies, and the Metro celebrates its 60th anniversary in October.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Quebec's Operation Sac à Dos will distribute backpacks to 12,000 low-income students province-wide, addressing material shortages as school starts. Anne-Marie Athier and Sean Henry discuss the rollout. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Backpacks loaded with pens, notebooks and other essentials are being handed out on the streets of Montreal as part of the province-wide Operation Sac à Dos drive. Representatives from the Regroupement Partage Coalition, led by Anne-Marie Athier, stand beside volunteers as they load the bags onto carts. CBC Montreal Daybreak's Sean Henry records the scene, noting the steady flow of families gathering to receive the supplies. The initiative targets 12,000 low-income students across Quebec, aiming to fill the gap for children who lack basic school materials. Organizers say the distribution points will rotate through neighborhoods throughout the week, ensuring each child receives a fully stocked backpack before school starts. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
SDM has announced plans to celebrate the Metro's 60-year milestone this October, marking 6 decades since its opening on October 14, 1966. Colette Barbeau has the full story.
Plans are rolling out across the city as the SDM prepares to mark 60 years of underground service this October. Commemorative events will begin on the 14th, the exact date the Metro first opened in 1967, and will run throughout the month. Stations will host special lighting displays, historic photo exhibits, and guided tour that trace the network's expansion from its original 11 lines to today's extensive system. Riders can expect themed trains adorned with retro signage and a series of public concerts in key hub stations. The anniversary also brings a look back at the engineering feats that shaped the city's transit backbone, highlighting the Metro's role in daily life for generations of Montrealers. Colette Barbeau, GMNA News, Montreal.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us this evening. Tonight's tribute to jazz legend Oliver Jones reminded us of the city's rich musical soul. Stay tuned tomorrow for more stories that matter to our community. I'm Mark Beaumont, signing off from the local Sunset. See you then.